Does anybody else have this problem? Well, if you do, like me, you've probably been looking for a rod storage box. Specifically the Yakima Topwater rod storage box, which I'm going to go over here today. I'm going to go over the specs, I'm going to go over the features, maybe some pros and cons that you should consider, and then finally, should you buy this? Is this the right box for you? So thanks for coming by here, guys, and let's get right into it. Okay, so starting off here up front, going over just the quick, simple specs. I'll put them here on the screen, but I'll also kind of go over these individually. So the box itself weighs 31 pounds, which was a big benefit to me personally. It's lightweight, it's very durable. 8.5 foot long, which is another thing. A lot of us have rods that are a little bit on the longer side. I typically go anywhere from 7 foot to 7.3. This is plenty of room for those rods. It'll probably hold certain fly rods, but honestly, they do sell a separate product that's specifically for fly rod storage. 1.5 foot wide, which is give you a little bit of that low profile box that you're looking for, probably whether it be on a truck rack or a roof rack on a vehicle or an SUV. 9 inches high, which again, is going to give you a little bit more of that aerodynamic. It's not that slipstream where you see a lot of those cargo boxes, but it doesn't serve as a sail on top of your vehicle. And the biggest thing for me personally is a 75-pound weight capacity. That does make it a little bit unique compared to some of the other competition, which I'll go over here later in the video when I'm talking about some of the other boxes out there and how they differ from this one. But just know the 75-pound capacity is kind of robust for what you call just a standard rod storage box. Okay, so just getting into the features of this. So the outside of this box is made out of what Yakima calls carbonite material, or what I like to call carbon-like. It's not, it's not a true genuine carbon fiber, but it does have that feel and that durability to it while carrying that lightweight characteristic. So it is durable, it is made in the USA, which is really important to me personally, and the company Yakima is a US company. The reason I really stress that is I have owned Yakima products for a few years now. I've had some warranties, and I'm talking to somebody that is in the Yakima office. That is the same person that is shipping me the replacement parts, and it makes for a better customer service feel. It holds up to 8 rods, which, depending on your needs and your setup, there's not a lot of products out there that will hold more rods, but 8 rods is usually more than enough for 1 or 2 people out on that big lake kayak fishing tournament. But if you do need more, you can store more rods kind of underneath, and I'll get to that here in a second. So the rod holders are removable, which is really nice because you can use this for more than just a rod box. But the rod holder specifically, it gives you 3 points of contact, which is really nice for supporting those really expensive custom-made rods. And it's got a really nice foam overlayment that really does protect those rods as well. And also another thing that I liked, it's got a little bit of a rubberized cord that goes over the top on each of those 3 points. So it does give you kind of a gentler feel, because whether you're doing your high dollar rods or just your cheap, quick throw and go rods, you still want to take care of them. You don't want the last thing you want your rod storage, your rod box to do is to damage your rods. Another thing is it has built-in rod shields. So you'll notice that the box is 8.5 foot long, but it holds up to 8 foot of rods. Well, that extra space, you've got these shields on each end that is going to protect those rod tips and those rod butts. So if something were to happen, if it was dropped or something crushes it, it will kind of serve as an additional protection, and also, in my opinion, just a little bit more structural integrity on that. And another thing too is it does have small drain holes located, so that keeps water from pooling up. Think about after you're done, your rods, your gear is a little wet, it keeps water from pooling on the inside, and it also really, that's why you're getting the box. You're wanting to take those rods out of the cab of the truck and somewhere else to where you're not getting the inside of your vehicle wet. Another thing too is, going over the rod space. Underneath, you do have some additional space. This is great for additional gear. Think about your low profile tackle boxes, maybe even some wader boots. You do have plenty of room to do that in. It is a little bit limited, but it is there. And the universal fit. So the clamps on the bottom, they'll fit to any Yakima bars, but the thing I love about this product is you don't have to have the Yakima rack to use this product. It'll fit pretty much, it says most. I have yet to run into a roof rack system that this will not fit. It will clamp down on round bars, on your longer bars. I run the HD bars on my, I have the overhaul system on my truck, which is basically like the heavy duty ladder rack, and it's going to clamp to that as well as the smallest round bar that Yakima makes. So I'm pretty confident in saying pretty much any roof rack system out there it's going to fit, but definitely do your research on that before looking at this product, obviously. And finally, on the features, it has a limited lifetime warranty. So this is the biggest benefit of dealing with Yakima personally, is their warranty. And obviously it's not going to cover just your normal wear and tear, your sun fading, all that. It's going to cover the structural integrity of it, and it's going to cover a lot of the parts and pieces that come with this. Yakima has their warranty is great. They're great people to deal with. And again, that's why I like dealing with US companies. Nothing wrong with companies that have to outsource their call centers or anything, but the person you're talking to is the person working with Yakima. So they're a little bit invested in the interest of you as the customer of the company. That's why I'm such a big believer in that. The people I've always talked to are the people that say, yeah, we've got this part in stock. We'll get it in the mail to you right away. I like that. And it cuts down a lot of your shipping times too, the fact that it is shipped in the US as well. Okay, so I want to go over some of the pros and cons. And obviously you're going to have pros and cons with any product, but just some things that you should know about it, depending on your setup, that you should maybe consider on this. So the first, I'll just start with the cons, bad news first kind of thing. So the lid, the overall lid, since it is 8.5 foot long, it does get a little bit tricky. So especially when you're using the single key system, locking system, it's got 3 points of contact again, but those are 3 latches that all latch at the same time. You definitely want to make sure you grab it with a little bit of a wider grip so that you can get all 3 points of contact. Because if one of those doesn't latch, that key's not going to turn. And that is due to the spring-loaded hinges that are located on this. It does kind of give you a little bit more of that tension to hold that lid up, but it does make it a little bit trickier to close it. So a lot of times the trick that I use is you can go down to one end and then the other, just to make sure everything is closed all the way so that that latch can lock in place when you're locking it up. And honestly, it's a little pricey at $629. $629 is not cheap by any means. I'll go over some of the other competition. Compared to the competition, it's actually price competitive, which is another thing. It is pricey. So it's made with quality materials. It's going to do everything you need it to do, but you really gotta know, is this in your budget? And depending on what else you've been looking at out there, there are some other price competitive products out there, and even specifically from Yakima, and I'm talking about the real deal rack. If you don't need an enclosed rack, it is another option at $179 MSRP. A lot of companies will run sales on these products from time to time, depending on what time of year it is. But just going off the MSRP from the manufacturer is something to consider. And finally, final con here, number 3, is going to be, some people have reported some issues with the hinges. Notably, when you open them up, sometimes some people have reported the hinge spring maybe popping off. I personally haven't experienced that, but it is out there. I have watched other videos of people talking about this. So something to know. It's not something that I've heard of popping off while you're going down the road, but when you're opening it up over time, maybe sometimes that spring can come off, but just know that. I haven't heard any issues from customers here locally and haven't had that personally, but again, just something to watch out for. Now, pros. So obviously it's a quality made product, as you would expect at that price point. It is lightweight and durable, which is more than you can say to some of the other products out there, but the lightweight material, it makes it a lot easier to take it off the roof rack, because it's not necessarily, you can probably store it out there all the time on your rack, but what I like about this product is when you take it off your rack, you can easily just put it in the garage. You can stand it up against the wall. Those of you that have like your hanging rod racks on the walls of your garage, or you have the little turntable like I have, it does take up space. This is a real nice low profile option to have in your garage. It keeps things organized at all times, and it's a really good throw and go option. It's really easy to put on your vehicle, to take off. And again, I like having my rods with me at all time, because have you ever been down the road and seen a body of water and thought, man, that looks really fishy? I've got some spare time. I wish I had my rods with me and my gear. This is a really easy way to have that at all times. I've still got plenty of space for one kayak on the side of the rack, or in your truck bed if you're doing the truck rack like I do. So again, I like that part about it. It's also very secure. So with the 3 different latches on this, it's not, if it just had one latch, which some products do, or even 2, it makes it a little easier to manipulate that lid a little bit. The 3 points of contact gives it a lot more of a secure feeling, in my opinion. And I don't think twice about, if I'm staying in a hotel, having my gear in the box. You don't have to bring all of your gear inside with you all the time. So that's also really important to me. Another pro is and I mentioned this before, you don't have to own a Yakima rack. I know there's a lot of good budget-friendly racks. We don't all need heavy-duty racks to carry around a lighter kayak, but this will fit pretty much any rack system out there on the market. I can't say all, because there's probably some out there I don't know about that may, of course, not fit with this. So do some research on that if you're looking at some different rack systems. And finally, the final pro I'll talk about is that limited lifetime warranty. That's really important. Now that lifetime warranty does not transfer. So if you're buying this used, or if somebody's just giving it to you, that warranty will not transfer. So definitely make sure you save your receipt, save your paperwork. Again, if you bought it from a paddle shop like here, they're going to have a record of it, and usually we'll be able to provide you with the receipt if you buy it from us. But you're covered for life for any defects, for any problems that come up. Again, not from normal wear and tear, but just if you get something that goes wrong with it, they're going to stand behind that, from my personal experience and a lot of other people out there. Okay, so finally, and really more importantly, should you buy this rack? I always say this, what you do with your money is your own business. Everyone's got their own budgets. I understand it's pricey. There are some, even within Yakima, with the real deal rod storage, there are some different setups you can do at a better price point. But do I feel that it's worth it? Absolutely. And it is expensive, but you get a lot more of a weight capacity than you do with the competition. So namely, the biggest competitors you're going to see with the Yakima rack are going to be the Inno rod box. So the Inno rod box is a little bit more plasticky, in my opinion, if that's a word, and it doesn't have the weight capacity. I think the weight capacity on it is about 22 pounds, which that's considerably less than the Yakima rack, and it actually retails for more at $6.99. So Thule or Thule, however you say that, is probably the main competitor with Yakima, and they do have a rod storage box. They've got one specifically for your spinner rods, your bait casters, but it's only got 2 chambers. It holds considerably less rods than the Yakima Topwater rack. The Yakima Topwater with 8 rods, you can store up to, I believe, 4 rods in the Thule. The Thule rod box retails at about $550, so it is a little bit of a cost savings, but if you're really wanting to store quite a bit of gear, I prefer Yakima's option there. Anyways, guys, that's my quick review of this product. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it answered some questions. If you got any questions below, or you have experience with the Topwater from Yakima, let us know down in the comments below. It can definitely help somebody out that's looking at this product. And also, if you have any questions, as always, let me know down in the comments. I'll get to you as soon as possible. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And without further ado, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you.